Okay, here's my gloves. Okay. Alright, here's my gloves for self-tape May. I'm doing a procedural, which is Audrey's requirement. Well, not a requirement, a request. She wants people to try and do some procedurals this year, so I'm going to squeeze a couple in. This is actually a real doctor lawyer seen in a courtroom from 1885 in America, I believe. So shouldn't be any problems. Enjoy.
You belong to Toronto, do you not?
I do.
What is your position there, Doctor?
Superintendent of the Toronto Lunatic Asylum.
Have you had any experience in the treatment of the insane?
A small experience.
Limited to how many years, Doctor?
Between 9 and 10 years.
Has it been your fate to attend occasionally as an expert in cases of lunacy?
Yes, very often.
Have you had any occasion to examine this prisoner here at the bar?
Yeah, I examined him 3 times, twice yesterday and once this morning.
Did you attend at the examination of the other witnesses in this case yesterday and today?
I did.
From what you have heard from the witnesses here in court, and also from the examination which you have made of the accused, are you in a position to form any opinion as to the soundness or unsoundness of his mind?
Well, assuming the fact that the witnesses told the truth, I have to assume that. Assuming also that the prisoner at the bar was not a malingera, that is English, I believe, then of course there is no conclusion that any reasonable man could come to, from my standpoint of course, than that a man who had held these views and did these things must certainly be of insane mind.
Do you consider, Doctor, that a person suffering from such unsoundness of mind, as you say this man is suffering from, is incapable of taking the nature of the acts which they do?
Why? The insane understand, many of them, the nature of the acts which they do, except in dementia cases and melancholia and cases of mania even. They often know what they do and can tell all about it afterwards. It is all nonsense to talk about a man not knowing what he's doing simply because he is insane.
Do you think that that man was, in the circumstances detailed by the different witnesses, in a position to be able to say or be able to judge of what he was doing as either wrong or contrary to law?
Well, that is one of the legal metaphysical distinctions in regards to right and wrong. And it is a dangerous one simply because it covers only partly the truth. I could convince any lawyers, if they will come to Toronto Asylum, in half an hour that dozens in that institution know right and wrong, both in the abstract and in the concrete, and yet are undoubtedly insane. The distinction of right and wrong covers part of the truth, covers a larger part of the truth, but the large minority of the insane do know right from wrong. It is one of those metaphysical subtleties, and the practical men in asylums know to be false.
There are some lawyers who think it is false also?
Well, the lawyers find it in the books and they take it for granted. It must be correct.
Do you consider, from the knowledge which you now have of this individual, that at the time the events detailed by the witnesses here took place, that is to say in March, April, and May last, that he was laboring under such a defect of reason from disease of the mind that he did not know that what he was doing was wrong?
I think he did know. I think he was quite capable of distinguishing right from wrong.
Quote the particular acts, Doctor.
Well, quote the particular acts. I presume if you were to ask him to define what is right and what is wrong, he could possibly give you a very good definition, as far as I could judge from my examination of him.
Was he in a position to be able to say at that time and to act that time as an ordinary sane man would have done?
Assuming the evidence given by the witnesses, he did not act as a sane man would have done. For this reason, that no sane man would have imagined that he could come into the Saskatchewan and that he would gather around him such a force as would enable him to become monarch of this country, that it could be divided up into 7 divisions, giving it to different nationalities. He was not an ignorant man. He was not like an Indian who never read the newspapers and knew nothing about the country around him. He had travelled, he'd been to Ottawa, and he'd been in the United States, and he knew all about the power of Britain and their dominion. And for him to imagine that he could come here and raise a few half-breeds in the Saskatchewan and keep up a successful warfare and divide the country in 7 divisions with different nationalities was certainly not a thing that a man with an ordinary understanding would ever think that he could succeed in.
So that you think at that time the man was certainly insane and of unsound mind?
Assuming the statement's made, I think so.
To be true?
Yes.
You take into consideration, of course, in this opinion, all the evidence given as well by the doctor as by the other witnesses?
Yes. And I assume, of course, as I said before, that not only the evidence given is correct, but that he was not a deceiver. I might say, if the court will allow me, that when I come to cases of this kind, I'm not subpoenaed for one side more than another. I'm here only subpoenaed to give a sort of medical judicial opinion, and therefore I stand in that capacity.
That is well understood, Dr. Clark.